So I want to share the full recording of a webinar I did just 2 weeks ago that generated $50,000 selling a 2K product in just an hour. And that campaign went on to sell $150,000 in sales. So grab a notebook. If you're interested in creating presentations, webinars that convert, check this out. So folks, welcome to today's talk and presentation on the 3 key assets that every coaching and consulting business needs to have. So what are we covering here today? First, I want to talk about the 3 foundational assets that make everything else in your coaching or consulting business work. We're going to talk about what's changed in 2025 and how the old way of building these 3 assets is actually slowing you down, not speeding you up for getting clients and growing your business. Okay. And then I'm going to share a behind the scenes demonstration of my brand new AI tools that can create those assets for you in minutes using proven frameworks. Okay, so that's what we're covering. Folks, I've been selling my expertise online for over 12 years. I've worked with Shark Tank companies, billion-dollar corporations, and over 2,700 and counting solopreneurs and small businesses like many of us on this call today, coaches, consultants, service professionals. And I can say with 100% confidence that if you don't have these 3 foundational assets that I'm about to share with you, dialed in and in place, no amount of posting on social media, writing a book, or talking to prospective clients is going to consistently work to help you get clients and grow your business. Conversely, when you have these 3 things dialed in, everything else gets easier, folks. Conversations turn into clients. Your message lands more clearly and your presentations convert at a higher level. Okay? If you're working hard but not getting the kind of results that you would like, it's because you don't have these 3 things dialed in yet. And I want to share what those are right now. So what are these 3 things? Number 1, a clear, compelling offer designed for today's market. I'm going to talk about what's shifted here in a moment. A trust-building presentation that shares that offer with more than one person, and a simple client enrollment script that turns calls and conversations into clients. Okay? Does that make sense? Can you see how having these 3 things dialed in makes all your marketing, all your sales, all your traffic efforts more powerful? These are the 3 foundational assets that all successful expert businesses that I've worked with over the years have in place. You can think of them like the foundation of your business's house. Without the right foundation, everything just wobbles. With the right foundation dialed in, every piece of marketing you use, every new program you create, every client conversation that you have has something strong to stand upon. That's these 3 assets. Now, the old way of going about building these 3 things, I like to term learning, then guessing, which had us swimming through bloated courses, watching hours of videos, using generic templates and trying to figure out how to apply them to our situation, and ultimately spending hours learning instead of actually getting clients for our business. Who here has ever bought a course you didn't use or grabbed a template but weren't sure how to apply it to your situation, and ultimately spent hours learning what to do instead of actually getting things done, right? I know my hand is going up right now because I've been in this boat as well. Now, the cool thing is with the emergence of new AI technologies, we now have the ability to move from learning, then guessing, to what I call building, then using. Okay, we can use expert trained AI tools built on proven frameworks to get custom results specific to our businesses in minutes instead of months. So you can start getting clients faster than ever before. Okay, so we've gone from learning to doing, folks, from guessing to building, from generic templates to custom tools, and from months of trial and error to results in minutes. We are literally in the middle of the biggest shift in how we build our businesses since the internet. And I know that sounds like a bold statement, but it's 100% true. And if you're not aligning in the correct way with these new technologies, you're making it harder on yourself and, dare I say, falling behind a bit.
So you don't need another 15 module course, hours of videos to watch and swim through. Okay, what you need today, which is possible today, is a system of expert tools that build the right things for you in your voice, for your business, for your situation. And that's what we're here to talk about today. So, did AI replace marketing funnels? Well, not exactly, but it has replaced how we build the assets that make our funnels and our sales systems work forever, right? We're not going back, folks. It's here to stay. And so why am I going all in on this trend? Why am I going all in on this? Look, for the first 10 years of my career, I did everything manually for my clients. I created offers, presentations, sales systems for my clients, manually did all the research, all the writing, everything. And it worked, but it was arduous and time consuming and all of those things. In 2023, when ChatGPT came out shortly before this, I built my first AI assistant to help me create those things. And now in 2025, I've gone all in on creating a full AI-powered sales system that I'm calling Conversion OS, okay? Which is a series of AI tools trained on my frameworks that build those three foundational assets for you in one sitting, okay? So I'm gonna go through each of these tools on the call today, show you what they look like, and do some teachings around these tools here on the call today. So what used to take me weeks now can be done in minutes with Conversion OS. Everything from research to offer creation to creating a sales message, a presentation, an enrollment script can all be done in a single sitting versus spending weeks trying to figure it out, okay? And I'm not talking about copying and pasting generic prompts, folks, into ChatGPT. That's not what I'm talking about here and hoping for the best. I'm talking about custom tools trained on proven frameworks to create those three foundational assets built on years of experience. That's what we're talking about today. So I asked this before the call. I'll ask it again because we got a lot more folks on here right now. Who here has tried using ChatGPT or AI for their business? Okay. Who has tried using ChatGPT or AI for their businesses? So we got a lot of yeses. Too many. All right. A lot of yeses. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, I would guess it's going to be a lot of folks on here. Lots of yeses. And that's awesome. But the reality is you're probably not getting the kind of income and getting the number of clients that you would like to get by using it. And that is because of this. AI is a mirror, folks. It's a mirror. What you give it is what you get back. And if you don't know how to prompt it, you don't know how to instruct it, you don't know how to give it the right context, and you don't know how to judge and work with what it gives you, you're gonna get subpar generic results, okay? Biggest mistake I see people make with AI is what I call naked prompting. Now get your mind out of the gutter, folks. It's not what you think. It's not what you think. Naked prompting is when you go to ChatGPT and you say something like this. You say, write me an email on this topic, or help me with my offer, or build me a presentation or a webinar on this topic. And when you do that, you're gonna get generic results, okay? But the good news is you no longer have to wrestle with AI prompts or try to figure things out. There's a smarter, better way to take the guesswork out of it and get real results much, much faster, which is what I'm going to cover today. And look, folks, if this sounds advanced, meet Sarah. She's an author and speaker. She said, you could not be less technical than I am. She told me she sat down and in 1 hour was able to create her offer and her presentation. And she was just beaming with how proud she was of herself. So if you can type on a computer and answer a few questions, you can use these tools, okay? I don't want you to be intimidated for those of you that might be newer to this, okay? So let's jump in. And I want to talk about these three foundational assets, what they are, do some teaching around them, and then show you how AI can build these for you in literally seconds, okay? So let's start with the first of those three foundational assets, which I would call the foundation of the foundation, which is your offer, okay? And your offer I'll define as what you sell, and how it's packaged. More importantly, how it's packaged. And your offer always starts with who? It starts with who. Before you decide what to sell, we have to know who we're selling to, right? Because who gives us money for our services? People do. We always got to remember that. People do. And if we don't know the right things about those people, nothing else in our business is going to click. Okay? And look, we've all played with these cheesy avatar. You've been told you got to do some avatar research and all that kind of stuff. But the old school worksheets and exercises there usually stop at a trivial level. Mary's 42 and she drives a minivan. She lives in Ohio. That's not insight, folks. That is trivia. And trivia doesn't pay the bills. We got to go deeper than that. It's kind of like writing a novel when all you know is the hero's age and name. Doesn't work. It falls flat. Okay? We got to go beyond knowing our clients' age and location and their occupation into things like buying triggers. So what makes them want to purchase? What is their decision-making style? What are the objections and doubts that they struggle with every single day? And what does their day look like? Can you really sit down and describe your ideal buyer like this? We should be, but we're not. And we need to be able to use their real words to describe their pains, their desires, their triggers, all of that stuff. And the more you get this stuff right, everything works. Your offer speaks more clearly to the right person, your message lands, and your conversations with prospective clients get a whole lot easier when we know how to use their language and use what they want to buy with, okay? So how can we build this kind of thing without the hours of research and guesswork that it normally takes? I call this your ideal buyer blueprint. And today, folks, it can be done in seconds. Okay, it can be done in seconds. So let me show you how you can create your ideal buyer blueprint in seconds using AI. Okay, so I'm going to come over to the Conversion OS system. Here we are inside of Conversion OS. And so specifically in this case, Avatar Craft. This is a tool called Avatar Craft, designed to help you create your ideal buyer blueprint in seconds, so all your emails, all your offers, everything else lands more effectively. Okay, so all we need to do is tell it a little bit about your business or business idea. If you have a new idea, this works perfectly. We can add a link to a website if we want, and then we just got to click a button down here, folks. And what this is going to do then for us, Conversion OS is going to do some research, some market research online, so you can see it's thinking, and then it's going to spit out that ideal buyer blueprint that will help us more clearly understand our ideal buyers. And you can see it talks about the basics, but it goes deeper into buying motivations, decision-making styles, objections and doubts. It gives us some marketing snippets that we can use to strengthen our other assets. When you have this dialed in, everything else gets easier, okay? And most of us don't know our clients this well. Now watch this. This is the first step of an entire process here, okay? It even gives you a competitive edge for what your people look like, okay? So this is what the final product looks like, folks. An ideal buyer blueprint. And this is an agency quality asset that will define all of those things that we just showed you here. I asked AI, how much does an agency charge for something like this? It said $3,000 to $5,000 for an expert or an agency to research your business or business idea and present you with this kind of document, okay? Imagine knowing exactly who you're speaking to, what their day looks like, and why they're going to buy from you for the rest of your career. That's what we have here, folks. And so go ahead and drop the word clarity in the chat if you'd like to have this level of clarity for your business, for your ideal buyers, and so that you understand more deeply who your person is speaking to. Because we skip this step, folks. Why? Because it is not fun. And two, we don't know how to do it properly. But I'm telling you, once I started doing this, all of my presentations, my offers, my emails, my pages, everything else, lo and behold, got a whole lot better, right? And so that is our who. That's the first step in the process. We got to define who we're marketing to, who we're talking to. Makes all the difference in the world. Next, I want to talk about the what. The what, and particularly what we're offering. Now, most of us are still packaging our offers like it's 2019, okay? 15 module mega courses with lots of videos, 12-month programs, offering to solve too many promises, making too many promises, and ultimately sharing too much stuff. Okay? What people value today has shifted. What people used to value from us, more modules, more calls, more bonus courses, more stuff equaled more value. Today, people don't want that. They want lean and focused programs and services that solve specific problems, faster results, less content to get those outcomes and results, and ultimately a less but better experience. Okay, so if you could take one thing away from this section of our talk today, it's this: less is more in 2025. If you come along and you try to drop a heavy sounding program or service into your buyer's lap in 2025, when they're already up to their ears in busy work and overwhelm, you're gonna get resistance and you're not gonna sell as well as you could. Okay? Who's guilty of this? It is a common thing. We're trying to over deliver with good intentions, but less is indeed more in 2025, folks. Okay, so that I hope is a big insight for you. Take that away from today's presentation. Now, when it comes to sharing your new offer, the fastest and easiest way that I've ever found in my 12 plus years online is to do this. Okay, when you're sharing a new offer or an existing offer, you want to use a single document. Some call it an offer doc, that just outlines the key elements of your offer and nothing more, positions it for today's market, again, lean and specific, and provides enough detail to start selling your program or service immediately. It's all you need, folks. I used the same process a couple months ago, created this document that I'm going to show you in a sec in one sitting. I got it in front of people the next day, got my first client literally the next day of creating this, and ended up enrolling 15 people into a new program just using this document structure. Okay? So how can we build an offer document for you, knowing the right criteria and making sure it's lean and modern for 2025 without all the guesswork and struggle? Look, normally I love all of you, but most of you spend weeks second guessing the name of your program or the price and all that stuff. But with AI and my frameworks, you can create what I call a premium offer document in seconds. And so how can you create that, what I call premium offer one sheet in seconds? Let's head back over to Conversion OS. Here we are back inside of that tool. Now the cool thing is, so this is Conversion OS, and we're looking specifically here at OfferCraft, a tool designed to create a lean, modern offer for you in seconds. Now, the cool thing is that this will build upon what we just did. So we already have our ideal buyer defined here. It's going to take that information that we just researched and plug it forward. So we just have to answer a few questions, folks. Do we want to create a new offer or improve an existing one? Okay. You can drop an optional link to a web page. You can upload a doc if you want that to be involved in the output. Otherwise, we just have to answer a few questions here, folks, to the best of our ability. Hit a button, and it's going to start thinking and, again, researching your competitive. It's going to do competitor research. It's going to do all of those things behind the scenes extremely quickly. And it's going to spit out that offer one sheet that you can use literally in seconds. It's going to give you naming ideas, tagline ideas, what to share in the program. And it's even going to do pricing research for you based on competitors in your space or in or around your space. It's going to give you a pricing option, and it's going to talk about all of these things, why this is the perfect offer for your buyer, all of those kind of things done in seconds. Okay. This is what it looks like as a finished product. You can see it's a shareable document with the name of your program, a clear subheadline, the core problem you solve, what the problem does, how you deliver the results, what's included, and then the price. Look, that is all you need, folks, to go from offer idea or offer improvement to sharing that new offer with potential clients for feedback and, yes, to enroll new clients. Okay, this is the fastest, simplest way to create a new offer and get it in front of people. Use the AI tool, plus this document. Okay. And again, this is something an agency is going to charge you $5,000 or more for, and you can create it in minutes here. Imagine being able to sit down in one afternoon and create your offer, get it on a doc, and start sharing it the same day. That is what we're showing here, folks. So go ahead and type the word offer in the chat if you can see how simple and powerful this strategy can be for your offer creation and for your business, folks. I've been doing this a long time. This is the simplest way to do it, folks. Simplest way to get a new offer or improved offer in front of clients for feedback and, yes, to enroll your first clients. 100% the best way, okay? All righty. So that is the who. We've talked about the who, the what. Now we want to talk about the next question, which is how, right? How do we share our offer with more than one person? Or how do we take that offer and start sharing it with other people? I'm going to get a quick sip of water here. We are live, folks. So the how. So there's two ways to share this new offer, okay? Or optimize offer. There's the one-to-many path, where you create a presentation like you're on right now, and you deliver that to groups of your ideal buyers. Okay, that's one path, very powerful, one of the best ways to get leverage and get in front of more ideal buyers at once. The second path, equally important skill, is one-to-one. Getting on Zoom with someone and guiding that person in a one-to-one interaction to a buying decision for your program or service, okay? Hopefully to a yes, if you want to work with them. Now, I'm going to talk about the one-on-one here in a moment, but let's talk about the second crucial asset to have in place for your coaching consulting business. We've talked about offer. Now I want to talk about a presentation, okay? And I'll define your presentation as your best sales message packaged into a shareable format that you can share with more than one person at a time, okay? So why do they work so well? Well, they allow you to give value before you make an offer. They allow you to build trust, to demonstrate your expertise to groups of people in a very leveraged way, and they allow you to reach your ideal buyer anywhere in the world, like I'm doing right now from my home office. They are amazing when you do them right. Now, in 2025, presentations, they've changed a bit, right? Gone are the 90-minute pitch fests. In are the simple Zoom-style presentations like you're on right now. Audiences don't want hype. They want help. They want clear solutions more than ever. And modern presentations, they're not performances, they're more prescriptions, okay? They're you showing a better path forward that's helpful to others. In fact, the number one goal of your presentation is to share a new opportunity. It's not to overteach or share a bunch of how-tos. It's to share a new path forward that is helpful to your ideal buyer, okay? And there's some strategy to doing that, but we want to just show them the path. That is the goal of your presentation. Now, conversely, the biggest mistake I already hinted at is turning your presentation into a full-blown course, right, folks? A full-blown course where you're sharing a bunch of how-to information, step-by-step, turning on the fire hose, spraying people in the face with a bunch of how-to information, and they either leave with more questions than they came with, or they think they can just go do it themselves, and they say, great job, I'll come back to you when I try this, and we all know how that goes, right? They just don't do that. Okay, so how can we help you put together the right type of content that still delights people? We want everything we do, folks, to be valuable. Don't get me wrong. We want everything we do to be valuable, but we need to do it in a certain way. Okay, so let me talk about the three big areas of a high converting webinar. I've been working on webinars over a decade, 300 plus private clients with this, millions of dollars generated. These three sections work. Okay, the first section, And don't worry about memorizing these right now. I'll show you how you can create this quick. The first section is what I call framing the opportunity. This is all about why this and why you. So it's about giving context early in the presentation. You saw me do that early in this presentation when I talked about these 3 key assets. I talked about the shift from courses and templates to AI tools. What was I doing? I was framing the opportunity so that you know what I was sharing and why you should care and why you should listen to me. Most people skip this, and it's a huge mistake. The second piece is what I call sharing the opportunity. So after we frame the opportunity, we want to share the opportunity. Okay, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm walking you through what I call a roadmap to results. Okay, we're going through the offer, we're going through the presentation, we're going through the enrollment process next. That is a roadmap to results. It's a clear path that I'm showing you that if you're the right person, you should say, wow, I want that, I need that. Okay, and so I find that's the most transparent, professional way to share your solutions. And then finally, we're going to invite them and offer them the opportunity. So we're framing the opportunity, we're sharing the opportunity, then we're offering the opportunity, which I'll show you here in a second. And so again, don't worry about memorizing those things, those 3 things. Let me show you how you can create a presentation in minutes, literally in one sitting, folks. And so here we are back inside of Conversion OS. We've already got our ideal buyer, our offer. It's going to take that information, and then all we got to do is answer a few questions, our name, a little bit about our background, and then we can just hit a button here, folks. And this is going to create a full sales presentation. It's going to write out an entire sales presentation built on everything we've already put together. It's going to take those the questions that you've answered, all those kind of things. It's going to pull it forward, and it's going to write you a clear, compelling headline. Most of you struggle with that. Benefit bullets that you can use to promote your webinar, your presentation. And then it's going to write out literally a slide by slide by slide presentation for you based on my framework that I've used, again, with over 300 private clients. Thousands of people have bought my webinar training programs and things like that. And it's going to write out that entire process for you literally in under, a minute or 2 here, folks. So say goodbye to the blank slides kind of syndrome. This is what it looks like when it's done. Now, Conversion OS doesn't design your slide deck, but it does give you a template and design help within the program. This is for Jonathan. He's a financial advisor that we worked with here, using that tool, using this framework to write out all the content and then plugging it into a slide deck and getting it designed and looking great. So that is what the final output kind of looks like for this particular thing here. So folks, how cool would it be to be able to sit down in one afternoon, get a sales presentation written so you don't have to think about the words you're going to have on the slides, the materials, all of that kind of stuff. Who's going to do that? Who would love to have something like that in your business? Go ahead and type a present in the chat if you'd love to have an asset like that working in your business. Okay. We got lots of folks coming in hot there. Pretty powerful. Look, folks, there's nothing more powerful than a presentation to give you leverage. It's what all the top folks are using. And you don't have to have a huge audience, folks. You don't have to have a huge audience. You can just use something simple like a Zoom, to host it. That's all we're on right now. We're not on anything fancy. You don't have to have all of these fancy skills or anything like that in place in order to host this kind of thing or to do a presentation. You don't need a big audience. I've had clients do these presentations with 5 or 6 people and get their first few clients, and you don't need to have heavy tech skills. Okay. Like Joyce here, who's an embroidery business coach. She was an early user of my Webby tool. She said what it created for her was 100 times better than she could have done on her own. Okay. And she's a woman in her 80s. She's not overly technical. So if she can do this, you can certainly do this. Okay. So we've talked about the who, the what, and the one-to-many. Okay, folks, is this tracking so far? Because I want to talk about the one-to-one. This will be something that is going to change your business, change your life, in how you look at it. Now, I don't want to be too hypey there, but I don't know. This is my best work, folks, and I'm excited to share it with you. and make it this whole process easier. So it's this whole who, what, how tracking, because this is the foundation that makes everything else work. Okay. So now let's talk about the one-on-one. Okay. This is a fantastic skill to have. So we've talked about offer, present. Now I want to talk about the one-on-one part of this. Okay. This is an enormously and powerful skill to have to enroll people into our premium programs. So and this is the enrollment section. So I'm going to define enrollment as how you confidently guide a potential client to a decision, preferably a yes decision, if you want to work with them. And many of us lose our clients not because our offer is bad, but because we stumble in the conversation with them, don't we? Maybe we overtalk. Maybe we share our solution at the wrong time. Here's the biggest one. We get into free coaching mode. Free coaching mode. Who's guilty? I know I am. I know this is something I had to fight early in my career. I love to help people. I see myself more as a guide than a salesperson, and I just love to help. And I get on a call with them, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, let me help you this and that and this and that and this and that. You know, it's like me too, right? Like it's and what it does is it often confuses our prospective buyers, and we don't want that. Okay. Now, the old school tactics of what a lot of people are teaching, I call guru sales. NLP tricks and closes, battling objections with the person like you're in a war with them, and ultimately, learning how to be a better salesperson. Okay? And nothing against salespeople. There's good ones out there, but I don't see myself as a salesperson. Maybe you don't see yourself as a salesperson either. I see myself as a guide. And more specifically, I see myself as a doctor who asks helpful questions on these calls, that lead the conversation, that listens deeply to what that person really wants, and then prescribes solutions to them. Again, like a doctor would prescribe something to a patient. And for me, this is the model I've used now for years during these one-on-ones. And I've enrolled everything from $5,000 to $50,000 plus deals to people who hadn't even heard of me 48 hours before. So look, I don't see myself as a salesperson. Maybe you don't either. So you don't necessarily need to be better at sales per se. But what you need is a reliable framework for trust-based conversations. So question for the group here. Get a drink of water. Who here has a written process that you follow when talking to prospective clients? A written process. I'm not talking about a script that you just blindly read. But an actual framework that you do. Nancy, I know you would. No, Mary. Lisa, yes, I do. Perfect. Oops, me. Garrett, perfect. Nope. So we got a mix here. Actually, more than I thought. Julie, no. Craig, yes. Kathy, yes. Brian, yes. Perfect. So lots of yeses and nos. Probably more nos than anything. Ray, come on. You got to have one of these. You know that you should have one of these. And you better get in this program here. All right. So here's the deal, folks. I figured I thought it'd actually be more no's, but it's a good mix. So no framework, and I'm not talking about a script again that you blindly read. This isn't a closer script. This is a questions-based framework that guides the conversation. No framework equals no consistency. You wouldn't give a speech without knowing what to say, so why are you winging your enrollment calls, folks? You wouldn't want to do that, okay? So I call this framework the doctor's framework because I see myself as a doctor. When people come to me, they're the patient, okay? It's a questions-based framework that I've used for years to guide clients. And so let me go ahead and show you what that looks like here inside of Conversion OS. In fact, the cool thing is once we create our presentation, once we have our ideal buyer, our one sheet, all this stuff, our presentation done, now it's going to automatically write out a client enrollment script that we can use to talk with those people one-on-one and guide them to a decision, custom to your business in literally seconds, folks. This is what the final product looks like. This is an asset you can use for years to come. It's going to help you know what to say to open the conversation, what opening question you should use. These are it's super important how you open the call. A lot of clients are lost at the start of the call here. It's going to give you deepening questions that you can ask to further deepen the discussion, to get to know that person, to build rapport with that person, to make them feel heard, for you to understand truly what they need so that when you present your offer, you can do that here. Okay? So sharing the opportunity. Okay? It'll show you how you can share your process, share your program. And it's going to tell you what to say when people say yes, how to lock in commitment, and how to handle objections if people are hesitant to buy from you, okay? And there's usually 3 key objections that you'll want to address and isolate at that point in the conversation. So again, this is an asset that agencies are going to charge you thousands of dollars for. You can create literally in seconds and minutes inside of this program, okay? Imagine having the confidence of going into your next call with this sort of thing in your back pocket. I still use mine years later after I've been selling my services online for a long time. I still use this. I still bring this up before my call so that I'm clear. I remind myself of how I want to lead the discussion, asking the right questions, leading the conversation in a professional way. You don't need to be a closer or a hard, type of person. If you have a professional process that guides them, they will see you as a professional and you will get more clients. Okay. So go ahead and type script in the chat if you'd love the kind of confidence that would come from having this kind of asset in your back pocket. Some of you already have one, and that's awesome. But I can tell you, folks, if it's not serving you like it could, this is a home run, folks. It's one of the most powerful skills you can learn. Again, I've been using that for years to sell $5,000 to $50,000 plus items. To literally people who hadn't even heard of me 48 hours before in a professional way without being a salesy weirdo or anything like that. Okay. Again, I'm the guide, I'm the doctor, they're the patient. That is how I see it. And that's how I think many of us should see it as well. Okay. So that is Conversion OS, folks. It's a system that doesn't just help you learn, but it also helps you build the things that you want. Because folks, these tools aren't here to replace you and your expertise. They're here to enhance it. Okay. They're here to enhance your capabilities. They're not here to steal your creativity, all those kind of things. And they're really there to help take away that blank screen stress, that staring at the blank slide, the second guessing, and give you polished sales materials that you can feel confident using for years to come. Okay. So you don't need more courses. You don't need more frameworks. You don't need more videos to watch, okay? What you need is the right tools to get the most important things done so you can start enrolling clients quickly, okay? And look, you're gonna learn more, folks, by doing something, actually building something, and then actually getting it out into the wild and getting feedback on it than you are taking courses and doing all these kind of things, okay? So we've covered a lot so far. We're not done yet, okay? I got some more stuff for you here. But we've covered why the old way of patching things together with courses and templates and naked prompts isn't serving you well. We've talked about the 3 foundational assets that every coaching consulting business needs to consistently get clients. And we've talked about how AI can now create those things in minutes without you needing to learn how to prompt and do a bunch of fancy stuff that is hard to learn and time consuming. Okay. So the question now really is, do you want these same tools working for you? And have me personally help you refine and optimize everything you build. Because it's not enough to see these tools in action or hear about these concepts. We need to be able to apply them to your business and to your situation. Okay. So what I'd like to do now is extend a special invitation offer for you to join me inside of Conversion OS Live, where over the next 6 weeks, you'll use my AI tools trained on my brain and frameworks to nail your niche, craft your offer, build your presentation, and create your enrollment script 100% custom to your business in minutes instead of struggling for months. When you join today, you're going to get instant access to the tools that I've showed you here today, which means in the next 24 to 48 hours, you could literally have these 3 assets written and ready to go, certainly within the next week. And then work with me together over 6 weeks. I'm going to help you refine and optimize everything you create into A+ materials you can use for years to come. Okay? So how does this break down week to week? So the first thing we're going to do inside of ConversionOS Live, the first 2 weeks, we're going to focus on building what I call your 2025 style offer. Remember, things have shifted, folks. You're going to use my tools that you saw today to define your buyer and nail your offer. And then I'm going to give you direct feedback on everything that you create to refine it and optimize it into something special. Okay? And if you have a brand new offer idea, if you're like, John, I don't have a business yet, perfect. I'm going to show you how you can create and validate a brand new offer on the spot quickly so you can start landing clients before the program even ends. I'm going to show you a simple, no-tech way to start validating your offer and landing clients. Now, weeks 3 and 4 are all about creating your presentation, right? We talked about the importance of that. You're going to use my tool Webby to write a complete presentation in minutes, and then I'm going to help sharpen your message and your slides for maximum impact during the program. You're going to have a presentation. You're going to walk away with a presentation you can confidently deliver to groups of your ideal buyers, okay? And then finally, the last 2 weeks are all about mastering your enrollment process, okay? So you're going to use ScriptBot to create that enrollment process, that script for yourself. I'm going to review it with you, make sure it sounds like you, sounds natural and professional, not pushy or salesy. And you're going to walk away with a repeatable enrollment process that you can confidently use forever, okay? I want to move you away from this long hours into the night trying to figure this stuff out on your own to something closer to this, using brand new AI technology, my frameworks, and help to make this as easy as possible for you, okay? Look, folks, as I mentioned earlier, if you can type on a keyboard and answer a few questions, you can use ConversionOS, I promise you. Remember Sarah? She sat down in 1 hour, got her offer and presentation done. If she can do this, so can you, okay? We start September 30th, and we go to November the 6th. And if any of those dates don't work for you, you can still join and get lifetime access to all the AI tools, recordings, and materials, so you don't have to worry about missing a session. By the end of these 6 weeks, you're going to walk away with a crystal clear offer that sells, a sales presentation that delivers your best message, and a confident enrollment script that turns calls and conversations into clients. Now, the way I see it, there's really 3 paths you can take to build these things. You can keep wrestling with courses, templates, and ChatGPT, naked prompting, tweaking things, second guessing things, and hoping you land on the right stuff. You can hire an expensive expert or agency. I actually asked AI what agencies in 2025 charge for these things that ConversionOS produces. It said $12,000 to $35,000. And that tracks because I charge as much as $39,000 to create offers, presentations, and sales systems for clients. $5,000 just to look over somebody's slides or offer. And so you can certainly do that. You can hire an expensive expert. You can, take path 1 and keep trying to struggle along and guess like you are. Or you can take the third path, use ConversionOS Live, trained on proven frameworks to get the agency quality outcomes without the agency quality price for a one-time investment of just $19.97. So $19.97 is the investment to join me inside of ConversionOS Live, okay? We'll show you where to join in a minute. So in addition to the ConversionOS Live, that is the 6 weeks with me, I want to give you some extras to make sure this is even easier for you to implement. So the first thing I want to give you is what I would call your speed bonus, okay? These are your offer getting templates. And these are templates that are fill in the blank, worksheets, slide decks, you can just copy and paste the content from the AI into these worksheets and start sharing these new materials really, really fast, okay? You've seen me demonstrate or show you rather some of these tools and templates here today on the call, your offer one sheets, all those kind of things. A template, you're going to get a template that goes with your webinar presentation, as well as some design help within the program to get that done fast as well, Okay, so the first thing I want to give you are these client getting templates to make what you create tangible and usable fast. Okay, now the second thing is your clarity bonus. This is watch anytime access to all 6 of the live classes and optimization sessions that I host inside of Conversion OS Live. So you can revisit any of the sessions at any time. If you need further clarity or you want to see more examples, you can do that at your own pace, at your own time. So you don't need to worry about missing a session if you can't attend everything. Okay? I also want to give you a confidence bonus as well. And so your confidence bonus, I want you to be confident that these tools are going to last the test of time. So I'm going to give you lifetime access to these tools that I showed you today, plus all future updates. Okay, so you can use these tools for as many offers, as many presentations as you want forever. Anytime there's an update on a new model or anything else, you can just get the updates automatically. These aren't hard to update. And you'll never have to worry that these tools will get outdated. Okay, so there's no subscriptions. There's no monthly subscription now for this. I might change that in the future, but as of right now, it's just a one-time investment to get lifetime access to these tools. And I'm talking about, again, Avatar Craft, so you can nail your niche, Offer Craft to optimize your offer, Webby for your presentation, ScriptBot for your enrollment scripts, and the Conversion OS Fast Track, which is what you saw me demonstrate today, that ties all of those things together so you can literally knock out a new offer, a new system in minutes, okay? So you're going to get lifetime access to all of these tools, okay? Now, these tools and templates are great, but you're going to want to use them to get clients, right? And so the next thing I want to do is give you a momentum bonus. So the second week of this program, I'm going to host a mini workshop that I'm calling First Clients Fast, okay? That's going to teach you a simple process to land your first or next clients quickly. I'm going to give you the exact scripts on how to reach out to people and invite them and do all that kind of stuff. And the goal of this is to get you your first or next clients while you're in the program with me. Okay, so not only we're going to build, but I'm going to show you the fastest way, especially if you're a beginner, or even if you're a more intermediate or advanced, the fastest way to start monetizing a new or improved offer. We're going to do that week 2 inside the program. Okay, so here's what we get so far, folks. You're going to get instant access. So when you buy today, you're going to get instant access to all the tools. You're going to get 6 weeks with me to polish and refine them. You're going to get lifetime access to all the updates of these tools. You're going to get the client getting scripts so you can turn it into a tangible, usable worksheet and slide deck quick. Anytime access to all of the trainings and that client workshop on week 2 so we can quickly get you clients and help you pay for the cost of this program. Now I have one more thing, folks, and then I'm going to show you where you can go to sign up. One more thing, folks. So be ready to go. We're going to drop the link as to where to go to sign up here in a moment. So who here would love to use my tools to create your assets and then send them to me, and then have me get on Zoom with you for 60 minutes to go through each of them line by line to make sure you nail your offer, presentation, and script so you absolutely crush it, okay? So for the first 25 who purchase on today's webinar only and pay that $19.97, so you have to pay the $19.97, first 25, we have almost 400 people on here, folks, so these are going to go. You're going to get a 60-minute Conversion OS review session with me. Now that's a $5,000 charge, good anytime in the next 12 months. So if you want to use the tools and test it out first, come back to me a few months later, totally fine. If you want to do your call sooner, totally fine. You can use it anytime at your convenience over the next 12 months. And this really is my superpower, folks. I took David from 60 to over 100K using these systems. Dan here, we doubled his conversion rate by improving his offer and his message, okay? So you're going to get instant access to the tools, 6 weeks with me, lifetime access to the updates, the client getting templates, the watch anytime access, the mini workshop to help you use these tools fast. And then for the first 25 who pay the $19.97 today on the webinar, I can only do so many of these folks. You're going to get that Conversion OS review call with me so we can make sure you absolutely nail this. This is nearly a $10,000 value. I think that's a very modest valuation for this package. It's a hell of an offer, hell of a package for just $19.97. Okay. In the first 25, Again, that call with me. So how can you get started here, folks? So in a moment, what you're going to see is a link drop into the chat that's going to look like this. So Andrew, if you want to drop the link to people, drop the link in the chat. First 25. Andrew, go ahead and drop the link in the chat. Yep, link has been dropped. Perfect. So the first 25 are going to get that review call with me. Click the link in the chat. Feel free to say that you're in. And or you can go to workwithjohn.co. So that's how you can sign up. Workwithjohn.co. Or click the link in the chat. Okay, it's going to take you to a page that looks like this, where you fill in your contact details. You choose your pricing option. I recommend the OnePay if you can do it. That'll save you $277. And you'll get that review call with me. Okay. Fill in your payment details. Click the complete order button at the bottom of that page. And it's going to take you to a page that looks like this, where it will confirm your participation in ConversionOS Live. And you're going to get an email from me with instant access to these tools, folks. So there's no waiting, there's no dripping. You're on your honor here. I'm going to give you the whole shebang right up front here. When you purchase today, you can start building today inside of ConversionOS. This is my best work, folks. And if you've known me for a while, you know that I aim to deliver with this stuff. You can join today, get instant access. Click the link in the chat. Feel free to holler if you're one of the first few. I have something special actually in a moment for the buyers who are on today's presentation. So make sure to hang out with us here today. Go to workwithjohn.co or click the link in the description to join us inside of ConversionOS today. Okay? Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. All right. Perfect. And look, folks, this offer is covered by my Look Inside Your House guarantee. So what does that mean? That means you can buy the tools and join us today. You can start building and using the tools. You get instant access. Literally within the next week or less, you could have these tools written out, these assets written out, and then you can attend the first couple sessions with me and have me help you refine them. And if you don't feel like it's for you, before October 14th, that is the deadline on the guarantee, you'll have until October 14th. If you don't feel like it's you, if you've tried all the tools and you've come to a couple sessions and it's not right for you, just send me an email. I'll give you a full refund on your purchase. Okay? I'm that confident in this system. So that is covered. You're covered, fully covered. There's really no risk if you want to give this a try today. And look, if the 1997 is a bit of a stretch, no worries. I don't want that to be the reason why you can't enroll today. You can still join today for just a one-time, or excuse me, just for just $379. So you can join today for $379 with 5 additional monthly payments. You're still going to get access to all the tools. You're still going to get access to all of the materials within ConversionOS. I'm not holding anything back. So if the 1997 is a little bit of a bite for you and you want to get in at $379 and then just pay the things off for the rest of the months, perfectly fine. Okay. So Brian, he might be on the call here actually, was an early user of my tools. He said you can't beat the speed and quality and ease of use. Best tools I've found since being online. He's been online 19 plus years. Holly Chantel is a business coach, high ticket, used these frameworks to optimize her offer and presentation, made some money. John Levisay is a sales expert. Rhonda, a LinkedIn expert, was able to get her close rate using my AI tools to 25%. Normally it was at 10. Ray, you're on the call today. My good friend Ray. He gave me this comment. He said, I think you may have changed how online programs are created. The ability to start building right away removes the need to first learn the system before beginning. And this is really the key shift in our creator economy right now, our expertise-based economy, is that we no longer have to sit there and struggle through learning. Learning's important, but folks, the best way you're going to learn is to get something done and get it out there. Okay. Shireen, as a sales trainer for dentists, used this process. Raleigh was a soil restoration expert. So interesting niche. Helped landowners improve their soil quality and yields in their land. Partnered with a scientist. Started using presentations and offers. The offer we put together, he sold over $1 million in courses. Aaron's a physical therapist, North Carolina, put together an offer and turned it into a program. a premium program, modern for today's market. And he's now enrolled over 1,000 people into that program. Okay, so I'm not saying you're going to get these kind of results out the gate here, but what I'm showing you is that I've used these frameworks for a long time. They work and they can help you as well. Okay, so we're going to get to questions in a moment. And then I have a surprise reveal for everybody on the call here today. I'm going to have a surprise reveal for everybody who's on the call today. So just a quick recap, and then I'll show you how you can ask questions. I'm going to show you how you can ask questions. So you're going to get the instant access to all the tools. You can have 6 weeks with me. Lifetime access to the updates, all of the bonuses I shared, the templates, everything to make this faster and easier. I'm going to show you how to use these things quick to get clients. And then for the first 25, and I haven't looked at the numbers yet, to join on the call today, you're going to get access to that review call with me. Okay. You have 14 days to look inside the program, and you can get started today for either $379 or you can pay the pay in full for $19.97 and save $277 and get all those things here today. So I'm going to open things up for questions now. What I'm going to do now, open things up for questions. What I'd like you to do, we're going to spend about 10 minutes, 15 minutes on questions. I'd like these questions to be centered around either the Conversion OS program, whether it's a right fit for you, or whether this process that I've outlined today is going to work for you specifically, okay? So you can either find the hand raising area. There's a little tab that says raise my hand in your Zoom room, or you can click on, if you can't see it, click on the React section. You can see Andrew just did that in the chat. Or in the room here, or click the React section if you have a question, and I can actually bring you on and you can actually talk to me, and I can answer any direct questions you might have about this program or about this method, okay? So let's go ahead and come back on here, Andrew. Andrew, go ahead and you're welcome to unmute yourself, Andrew. If you had any questions previously, let's get to those in a second. I'm going to spend about 10 minutes on questions, and then I have a special surprise. I'm actually going to take one of the buyers. So this is a good reason to get in. One of the buyers on our call today, I'm actually going to invite them on here in a moment, and then I'm actually going to use Conversion OS to create their foundational assets for them on the call here today. Okay, so you're going to get to see the whole thing from soup to nuts. I'm going to take one lucky buyer from the call here today, bring them on, and actually just build it for them here on the spot. So this is a perfect reason if you'd like to get in. I'll be telling more about that here in a moment. So,
all right, you just saw me sell my Conversion OS system. I'm actually hosting a 8-week program called Conversion OS Lab, where I'm going to help you turn your knowledge, your expertise into a series of AI tools that you could sell for your coaching consulting business. So if you're interested in more information on that, comment the word lab down below, and I can get you an offer document that outlines that offer. Okay, that's it for this video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more stuff like this. Feel free to leave a comment if you have a question, and I look forward to seeing you again on another video soon. Take care.